live on the EGGPod once more. Welcome, chatters and eggies, to our Monday night EGGPod. This evening we are thrilled to announce that we are joined by the legend, or as Conscript has now put into chat, the legendary French Springbok, Raphael Levy. Welcome, Raf. Thanks so much for joining us.
How's it?
How's it?
All good.
And also joining us tonight is Ryan Lello, simply because, you know, we needed our own person who's good at magic, other than me and Adam.
I'm decent, and I don't know.
You keep telling people you're bad. You're a liar. You're a liar.
So I think Adam just playing mind games. He's like, "Oh, I'm so bad. I'm so terrible." Sits down and then just like 5 minutes later, handing in the match slip. Cool, I'm done.
For those of you who are watching, I must apologize. The quality doesn't look so great at the moment because our bitrate is not very high. We have tried to fix it, but we figured we should just get going with what we have. Sorry if it's horrible. I'm hoping it will improve through the course of the show. But yeah, man, just a real pleasure to have you with us, Raf. Thank you so much. Also a real pleasure to have Adam with us. He's been out of action for about a week, so welcome back, dude. And just to get the party started, Ryan, I think you've got some adventures for Raf there. Adventures in terms of questions you want to ask.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, guys, if we just... Raphael, you're like one of the greatest players. Like from a resume, like when you look at your resume, it's just insane. And I think if I just list some of these off, I have it on my other screen. I just want to familiarize chat, you know, with some of this. Hall of Fame 2006. You won the World Magic Cup. In 2013, you captained France. French national champion 2012, 2013, 2016. I think your most recent achievement, I might be wrong on this, but at the Strixhaven Championship, you came 8th, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like with all of these achievements, I think I just want to talk about like tournament mentality. Like what do you have to do to get into that frame of mind, you know, to be able to perform, you know, at such a high level in all these, like the best tournaments, you know, the best players. I mean, I'm not really talking about the deck building side, but I mean like mentally or physically, how you prepare for these types of things and your mentality during the tournament as you play.
You have a wider question, something
that
takes more stuff. Because
yes.
What time is it?
It's 8:15 here.
It's like 8:15 South African time. So
yeah, well, I don't know. That's like how do you answer that question? That's like it's 1,000 questions in one. Okay, Raf, we have you for an hour.
Well, let's start with this.
You agree to 10 questions. Let's go for it. This is question one.
We're gonna put all 10 questions in one.
Where does the world come from? Go. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that as well if you want.
Yeah, that's probably easier actually. No, I mean, like to play tournaments, it really depends what kind of games you like, what kind of gaming you like doing. If you are just a casual gamer, you know, tournaments are not going to be your thing. Or maybe you like to play, but winning is not going to be what's going to drive you. For me, it was all about winning, all about competing. I don't play. I very rarely played, or even play right now casual. I don't like it. When people offer me to cube or to do commander or to do anything else, I'm like, nah, that's fine. I'll pass. I just don't like it. I don't want to play. I play games that I enjoy playing, like on my own time, and that's my thing. That's like something like I like to do. But for Magic for me is a competitive game. I've been playing competitive for 23, 25 years. And I can't imagine playing Magic just for fun. And with that mindset, when you get into tournaments, you arrive ready. You don't arrive just to have fun. You're ready, you're prepared, you want to play your best Magic, and you want to win. So with that mindset, what keeps you going. And what the thrill behind this is obviously the trophy. You only play for the trophy. second place, you not settle for second place. And winning is hard, Magic. Like, let's say you only have, let's say, good player versus a bad player. It's like 66% chance of winning a match. And you put the odds together, you put the math all together. And overall, you don't win tournaments often. Like, against good competition, winning is hard. So when you actually win, you have to, this is like the achievement. You win, you have to take it in because you don't know when it's going to happen again, if it's ever going to happen again. And that's the feeling as a competitor that you're looking for. And it's hard to come back home after a tournament when you don't win. But that's the thrill of it. That's what keeps you going. It's what keeps you going to other tournaments. I know this is not for everyone. And especially you can get demotivated really, really quickly if you can't win, if you're not good enough. And, you know, everything that goes with competition. You know, you can't win every time. Maybe you're not, you know, maybe you don't have what it takes. That's possible. Maybe it's just not for you. Maybe you prefer to play for fun. There's a game for everybody. That's my game. My game is about competition. It's about winning. It's about looking forward to the next tournament.
Should we I see there were some questions in the chat, Crispy. Should we tackle some of those?
Yeah.
Did we see some
I've got them
questions?
here if we need them.
Yeah, Ryan, go for it, man.
Go for it, dude. I missed them. I was too busy trying to figure out what was wrong with the internet.
Ryan, ask the questions.
Okay, so I see Leopardstone asked in chat here earlier about mirror matches. And everything that goes on with a mirror match, you know, how much of it comes down to top decks or luck of the draw and things like that.
I'm just on that, looking at not the last, but at Strixhaven Championship weekend. I mean, those mirror matches were insane.
Oh yeah, yes, yes. The Jeskai turns mirrors. Yeah, they were pretty rough to play. Yeah.
So I suppose the question is like what does it come down to if you're in a mirror match? Does it come down to knowing the cards better? Does it come down to knowing what plays to make better? Is it all top deck? Is it all luck? How do you face that kind of mirror match?
So I'm gonna tell you one, like this is a topic from one of my like bestseller. Now this is like the topic I like to talk the most about. It's about luck in general. Or like how I don't like the word luck, because luck doesn't mean anything in terms of magic or anything. It's not a superpower. This is not, someone is not more luckier than anyone else. This is just something, just like all the random factors in the universe. That's called luck. People call it luck, but if you're a rational person, you know that there's no such thing exists. So let's say I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm gonna give you like a situation. Totally not possible, and you tell me what you think. All right. You have one player, let's say you, for example, Adam.
Yes, that's me.
You.
So I'm going to lose now.
You're playing against Adam 2. You're Adam 1, you're playing against Adam 2.
There's only one Adam.
They're 2 now. They're 2. And they're exactly the same. Oops. Exactly the same.
What a terrible
idea.
experience.
The same. You just like split right before the game. Yeah. So there's nothing that differentiates you two. You have the same deck, and you're gonna start a game of Magic. How much is luck involved in that match? Like, how much are the random factors involved in that match?
I'd say there's a lot of random factors involved in that match. Same deck, same player. Obviously, now your shuffling is going to come into that, and then your top decking. What are you going to pull? Obviously,
out of the 100%, how much?
You go around a 60-70%.
How about you guys? What would you say?
Ryan's busy doing the math.
I'm not gonna sit and do the math because I'm not a math guy. But I mean, just from my own experience, I would say that the decks are the decks. So if the decks play the way they're supposed to play,
there's one clear answer to this question. So
50-50 for me.
The answer's probably zero luck involved.
It's actually 100%. Like, it all comes down to random factors. You're the same player, you have the same deck. What makes one player win the game? It's just the die roll, the way the cards are drawn, like you're not any better than your opponent. Like you're playing at the same level, exactly, because you're the same person. You're playing the same level. It's all gonna come down to the die roll, to the cards you draw, to everything. So this is completely random. Nothing is in your control. You're gonna play the cards. You're gonna make the mistakes your opponent would have made. You would have made better game. Like you're not gonna outplay your opponent. You're the opponent. You're the same person, and that's the same thing over, like in every sport. You can't put that in every sport.
Sure.
Like it's always gonna be about luck. If you're the exact same person. Now let's tweak that a little bit. Let's not take Magic. Let's take another sport, because Magic there's a lot of random factors. So we're gonna put it somewhere where there's no, like, very little luck involved. Let's take tennis. You play a match of tennis. Let's say, Adam, how good are you at tennis?
Horrible.
Or okay, let's say you're playing against Nadal. Okay, who's pretty good. You guys probably know Nadal.
Yeah.
Right?
You just like him
okay.
because he shares your name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How much? How is it likely that you win the match?
If I'm playing against Raphael Nadal,
Yeah.
You
so
won't
good.
win the match against him.
No, he's a
It's
much
just
better
skill
player
levels
than
are
me. He's
completely different.
tactically better, physically better. He knows the game better. Yeah, I'm dead.
He's better
How
looking.
How much is luck involved in that game?
Not much at all. I think that's very
No,
much
that's
more a
pure skill.
skill-based situation.
Yeah.
Pretty close to zero. I mean, it's possible that you win. Like, you can't rule it out. I mean, he can't just, like, have a heart attack on the court and just die. It's possible. I mean,
That's true, yeah.
it's
Hey,
possible.
play
It
two
almost
arms.
it happened in the Euros.
I mean,
Too
yeah,
soon?
well, yeah. I mean, it's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So it's very unlikely that you win, and you're very, like, it's almost 0% chance that you win. So luck is involved at about 0.0001%.
Yeah.
Because the difference of skills is so huge
Sure.
that you're never gonna make up for it. So let's get back to the Magic where, you're playing against your clone 50-50. You're playing against in tennis, you're playing against someone who's infinitely better than you are. It's about 0%.
Yeah.
How is the difference between a very good Magic player and the worst Magic player? How likely is the best player going to win? And this is stats. Like, you might not have the answer, and it's about, like, if it's a really, really bad player, it's about 75-25. But you can still like not draw the lands. You can still, like, have a bad matchup.
Sure.
All
Like in the
variables
limit,
play, yeah.
in the limited game, like, you have like 1 in 5 to lose anyway. So in a, like, average player against a very good player, it's about 66-34, something like this. So you have to navigate between these stats. And if you are well prepared, if you know your opponent, if you know how to play the game, you can maximize your odds to win to up to 66, up to 70%, depending on the level difference. But the more you're going to be prepared, the less luck, less random factors are gonna be involved in that match. So yes, when you play a mirror match, there's a lot. If you play against someone who's at the same level as you are, exactly the same level, you have the same decks, you have the same strategy, it's gonna be 100% luck. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. That's how it is. Like, theoretically, it's how it is. Obviously, that's not exactly how it is, because you will not face the exact same person. You may not have the exact same strategy. So all these little things that could be beneficial or detrimental, that's gonna, like, play in the outcome of this match.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's it. If you're better, if you're more prepared, you have more chances to win. That's There's no secret. That's, like, theory. It's game theory
exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, Leopardstone actually came back and said, so basically, do the most with what you draw and try to grab every strategic opportunity you can.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything else? Do you want to do it, kick under the table? What's your plan?
I like the kick under the table thing. Can we do that one? Adam, we need to play again. Kick you under the table.
Street rules.
That's a punch.
That's funny. Okay, so just quick before we get into the next one, I think we'll do a little giveaway because our amazing partners at Unplug Yourself have given us two bundle boxes from the Forgotten Realms Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set that's releasing at the end of this month. So you will win a box. 2 boxes will be won tonight, but we will only deliver them once the stock is available for us to deliver. So just keep that in mind, please. And I'll try and let it run. I'm going to put the giveaway up for 15 minutes to make sure that we can cover everyone in chat, because I see there is a slight delay. It's better than it was, but there is still a slight delay. So I'm going to let that happen, and I'm just going to open the giveaway straight up. People know what to do. If you want to win yourself a Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms bundle box, here is your first opportunity. There'll be one more later in the show, but here we go. The giveaway is open.
Cool.
Winning. What else
how
is
do you
from
feel,
chat?
Raph? How do you feel about the new set with all the randomness that's kind of involved in it? You know, with die rolls and coin flips and things like that. Do you think it's just adding like a bit? You've spoken a lot about all the randomness. You've just spoken about the variances and stuff. Do you feel this just adds like too much of it now? Like it's just ruining those calculations just a bit.
I don't think so. I think I haven't played with it yet. I haven't seen all the cards, and I think, how do you explain this? First of all, the cards are not that much different. Like you get just extra bonuses when you. It's not like roll a die up to 10, do nothing.
Yeah,
10
sure.
to 15, like draw 3 cards, and 15 to 60 or 16 to
Win the
20
game.
win the game. That's not like tap a creature, stay stabbed, and this is gonna, I think it's gonna affect a lot of the player psyches. As in, like already you see without any of the coin flips, any of the die rolls, people are not rational. Like in general, like whatever situation does, they're not rational. In a game of Magic, they're not rational. Like, oh, you drew the 1 card that saved you, so lucky. What are you talking about? I've had like 10 outs in my last 10 turns. I was actually favorite in this game. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You don't say that in the game because you want to be, you want to be courteous. You're like, hey, whatever. Oh yeah, I got lucky. Oh, sorry about that. By a good game. You don't do that. But this is all about numbers. Magic's about numbers, and this is also about numbers. So sure, when you draw the card that saves you, and you played for it. That's how you play the game. Like if I draw this card, I win. Maybe you don't get into that situation if you don't think of it. So props to you as well. And maybe you had more outs, but it feels bad. You know, to feel bad when your opponent draws the card to kill you, like, oh, I don't like it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So why I'm talking about this is that you're gonna roll a die, like, oh, my opponent rolled a 15 when like twice in a row. That's so unlucky. Okay, so just like take it easy, bro. Give it a second to think about it. So if they roll 10-10, are they still winning? Maybe. Okay, so it's just like 50% chance they win. Like how like this you have to take this into account. They make the decisions according to what they think can happen. If they paid off, it's good for them. And it's not about being lucky. Sure, if they roll like 2 20s in a row, like okay. But that's not what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The field bads are gonna come from like double 15 or double 12, like double the upside of a card. And you take the risk when you play them. And you play with it. And when you play against it, you're gonna have to take decisions according to what do you think your opponent is gonna do. Do you think he's gonna go for the 50%? That's the same thing. It's just more apparent. Like when you play a game and you're like, oh, my opponent doesn't have any cards in hand. I attack. If they draw Wrath, I'm dead. Whatever. You attack. They Wrath. I'm down. That was the card at the top. So lucky. If they had 1 card in hand, maybe that was the card. So I don't know. But that was the card they drew. So it feels bad, but like it shouldn't change anything to your game. And that's the same thing with the die roll. You have to think what they're gonna do. You got to think. And sure, it's gonna bring up feel bad. But if you're rational, it shouldn't.
Yeah. No, you make a good point. It's like it's bringing these types of the thinking around the game like more apparent. Like these, like you should be thinking about, what's in my opponent's hand. What are the chances of them having this card play around, certain game actions. But now these things are like face up in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like I like what you're saying. Like it's actually maybe it's like a good thing. People are going to start thinking about this. I need to play around that hard dice roll, because now it's like it's a visible, it's an actual game action that can happen. It's not something that's lucky, just sitting on the top of your deck. You got to start thinking about these things now.
You know it's gonna be a 50% chance if you like play it wrong, you're gonna be punished. You know it.
Yeah.
And like if there's like some of the cards are mostly like 1 to 10 does like something, 10 to 15 does something more, and 16 to 20. I think it's how they are, right?
Yeah.
Something
they're
like
like-
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So you should think like it's more likely that the effect's going to be much better than the basic one. So you have to play with that too, and that's like the math are going to be different, and people have to take that into account. And I think it's fun. Well, it's fun as like sure, it's fun when you're thinking it through, not when you think like, oh, of course they're gonna roll a 15. Of course they're gonna roll a 20, and I'm gonna get blown out. Blah blah. No, don't think like that. It shouldn't be like that. And like we shouldn't even have this conversation. If all the players are rational and we're thinking about the game in terms of numbers, we should like this is the feel bads in poker are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like like the top card is like like this is the card on the river. This card the only out. Yeah, well that's how it is. Over the course of a million hands, you play with the odds and you bet like accordingly. Yeah. That's how it is. Same for Magic. Like this numbers, the game of numbers.
Here's a really interesting comment in chat. Foxglove Lass says, I used to give out items in D&D with enchantments that had a special effect if a 20 was rolled. The effects were cool, but happening only 5% of the time meant it was never really busted, but gave the players moments that felt really special. A lot of the roll D20 cards feel that way for me here, she says.
Yeah.
So not busted, just different.
I mean, it's just having like more resources, more ways to, like have this apparent factor, the apparent random factor, more apparent.
Yes.
So like it's when you do a combination of cards, how likely is it? Like it's 5%. Just like add some 5% to some like real big equation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it adds more random. You just play with like more hidden information.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just something to take into account. Maybe I'm gonna take it back. Maybe in 2 weeks after I've played, I'm like, this is crap. I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, we'll keep in tune to your stream and see how it progresses over the set. But I think one of the other things that's important to kind of think about here from like a playing mentality perspective is a lot of people are quick to blame like, oh, you got lucky, you drew the top card that you needed, you rolled the 20, whatever. But I think with like you're saying about a rational player, you also got to look at yourself and be like, maybe I high rolled, that situation. Maybe I don't win that game without this top deck, without that D20 roll. Maybe there was another out for me at some point that didn't involve this getting lucky,
Well, if you listen to what I said earlier, you would know, well, I'm not talking about you personally, I'm talking like in general, that to win a game of Magic, you have to put everything on your side. As in like what's legally, you can put legally on your side. Don't go like think of it the wrong way. Like everything in the game, within the game, with like the preparation on your side to get the more, like the little points, the little percentage points you can get to win the game. That's what's going to put the game on your side, not your opponent's side. And people blaming the luck or blaming like how lucky their opponents are, that's just like blaming the wrong thing. That's like, why would you blame your opponent? You just like, if you're much better, it's 2 out of 3 chances you 2 out of 3 chances you win. You're still gonna lose 1/3 of them. And even then, like, are you really the top 2/3 players? Like, do you really think you didn't make a single mistake in that game? That's really like putting things so many times. Like, I don't like on Magic Online. It's easy because you can chat with your opponent. On the arena, it's a little different. But in real life, when like someone goes and tells the story of their game against you, like, oh, they got lucky. Like, yeah, dude, like seriously, like I got lucky. I mean, you cannot like made like 1,000 mistakes that game. So you could have won, you lost. I didn't get lucky. You suck. That's it. That's that. That's.
For me, to be honest, I'm not the greatest Magic player in the world. I think that everybody in stream and on chat and in our group knows that. But I will say the following. I get salty sometimes because I don't like losing, but I'm pretty sure nobody likes losing. But at the end of the day, I'm not losing to luck. Your opponent puts cards in the deck for a reason. Those cards are there to win. And if they draw them, it's not luck. They were meant to come out and they were meant to win the game. As far as I'm concerned, that's how it's supposed to go.
It's also a bad it's a bad mentality overall, because like when you lose, when you play tests, like you play most of your games play testing and preparing for tournaments. That like tournaments are just a small portion of the games you actually play overall. Like if you check on on one of the last feature matches, I play the same matches on Arena. It's like 15 or 18,000 or something like this. And I didn't play 15,000 games in tournaments. I played like maybe a few thousand or something like this.
Yeah.
But like not 18,000 last 2 years. Like that's insane. And like it's like 0 point something% of the games I play. But the games I played, the 15 or 18,000 games I played a lot. I made a lot of mistakes. And I lost a lot. And I didn't blame my opponents. Like when you lose, it's the learning experience. That's when you learn. If you keep winning when you prepare, that doesn't teach you anything. It either means like your deck is perfect, you play perfect, you never lose, or you play against really bad opponents. Either way, you're not learning anything. So when you lose, there's a chance for you to actually improve your strategy, understand where your mistakes come from, and that's actually the best way to learn is to lose. And if you winning all the time against very good players, if you think that you don't make a single mistake, then you're ready. That's at the very end of the preparation. If you get to a tournament feeling that I never lose, my deck is the best, I'm in the best position, then you're ready. And if you lose into the tournaments, like, well, maybe I wasn't ready, or maybe things didn't go my way. But losing is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Losing a tournament is a bad thing. But losing in general, that's a way to get better.
Very good.
Win or learn. Yeah.
I'm giving coaching sessions. I'm teaching people how to actually play Magic. And what's the main exercise we do is that I ask them to record games they play online. Like they play on arenas, like take the deck you want, the deck you're most comfortable with, take it to the ladder, record, I don't know, 5-10 games, whatever, at any amount. Don't think you recorded. Just play normally. Don't make any fancy play. Play just the way you would normally play. And you don't have to win. Actually, I'd rather have you lose. I want you to lose. Well, don't do it on purpose, but if you lose, it's actually better for us. Because then we're going to review a game and we're going to know why you lost. Because if you won, your opponent didn't play any lands, like you're not going to learn from that. Like nothing happened. If you lose, then we know where it came from. So, for example, I see a game. We start like after turn 2, turn 3. Like, okay, let's pause. What do you think they could play here? Is what did you do? Like I know you played like 3 days ago or something. Show me what you got. Show me what you would do. Oh, I would do this and this. Okay, I would do something different, and I'll tell you why. Do you understand what you did was wrong? Say, no, I don't know. Okay, I'll tell you. And then you explain. And there's a lot of game theory that's like, it's a lot for people who are not like pros or like very good at this game. There are a lot of things that people are missing.
Yeah.
And you can't know if no one points out. So you lose and you keep losing. You don't understand why you're losing. It might be because you're missing something.
Yeah.
So I'm not advertising for my coaching session, but if you want to, I'll give you the link.
Me. So I mean, it's funny you should say that, and I mean, it's not just about getting hold of a Raph Levy and saying, "Hey, can you coach me?" We have a community of players. We all play this game at different levels of experience and expertise, and so I think it's only fair to say that you can learn from anybody, so long as there's someone out there who has perhaps a better idea of how to play this particular combo, or this interaction, or deal with this better. You can always ask those questions and say, hey, I'm playing this kind of deck and it's just not working for me. Is it something I'm doing wrong, or should I just look at doing something else? So I think it's like you say, Raph. I mean, losing yes, it sucks, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because it does allow you to pinpoint your weaknesses and start looking at places where you can improve and you can get better. And we were talking off air just before you joined us, and the three of us were actually talking about the fact that since we've started playing more and more Magic, we've become better players. We're not greats, but we've become better, and that's a way of doing it.
Yeah, and the problem is that there's always going to be a limit. Like you're not going to be much better until you find someone to tell you what you did wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is not something bad. This is like everybody has their limit. I mean, you guys are not 15 or 20 anymore. I mean, you don't look 15 or 20.
No.
Like when you
21.
you're 22? Okay.
16?
Like when you for us for us adults, I mean by adults I mean over 22, 25. It's very hard to actually learn new things or change the way we learn. And by that I mean I've started the game I was 12 or 13. Like in 94. I was 12. I think I first saw the game in 94 when I was 12. I grew up with the game. My whole brains is about playing the game. Everything I did, like the game changed and I evolved with the game. And now everything I see, every situation I see, I've seen that situation 1,000 times, and my brain adapted to it. And that makes my calculations are so much faster than anyone who would actually pick up the game now. Like I arrive at the table, I see a game, I can analyze it in like a pair of seconds. Someone who doesn't know, they would arrive if they just started playing or did play in the last 10 years. If they're like 35 or even 30, they're not gonna have that how do you say that?
The speed.
The
They're
ability-
not going to have the
speed, yeah,
speed
the
of computation that you've got.
Yeah, you don't have that. And when you're playing a game, it's about the same thing. How many calculations can you make? If you put a bad player in front of a situation, they would take, I don't know, maybe 20 hours to figure out. I will just like completely fake numbers, but let's say a couple of hours to figure out every single different situation.
Yeah.
They would put it together and say, okay, this is most likely the best way to play this game. After 20 hours. Same for chess. Like I'm not a good chess player. Well, I used to be fine, but I'm not good anymore. And if you put me in front of a chessboard, it would take me a long time. It would take like all the different combinations. Like this could be fun. Eventually, I'll find it. Like if you find like in magazines or whatever, like Mat in 3, I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna take a lot of time, but I'm gonna be able to figure it out. The good player figures it out instantly.
Yeah.
And when you're in a tournament or if you're playing an arena, the rope is like, you're not going to have time for that. Yeah. So you have to understand that when you play, the speed, the way you see things is about how many situations you can figure out in like 1 second. And that limit I was talking about, because that's like, let's go back to where I was talking about. The limit is about how fast you can calculate these stuff. And that comes with your age, it comes with your experience, but mostly your age and the way you learn. I'm sorry, but that's how it is.
No hope
but
for me then.
You can fix that. You can help that. But there's always gonna be a limit to where you can learn by yourself.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
There's things you can't see by yourself. That's just not possible. Or you would be able to, but they would take so long.
Sure.
You need someone to tell you like, this is how you have to think. Because this you would not have come up with this yourself. So check it, like think like that. And that gives you like a few seconds, a few minutes of like figuring out the board. And that's how you get better.
For sure. We have closed the giveaway.
If Philip's in chat, he should have actually listened to what Raph said. He's 14 years old, and that kid's going to be great from what I've seen him doing now in the past couple of months.
Awesome.
So it actually made sense, like me with my old age. He can overtake most of us in his playing skill starting early.
Like very young players will make mistakes because they're not familiar with everything, like with life in general. So they will make mistakes due to like stupid stuff. They're more likely to make stupid mistakes because they don't pay attention. but very quickly they will learn very quickly what they did wrong, and they will adapt very quickly. And if they
Yep.
are in like a state to learn, if they have good people to teach them or to coach them, they will pass everybody very quickly. And that's why you see like kids of like any sportsman that get actually better than them, because first they're talented and then they have good coaches. So, and it goes very fast if you have good people to coach you, if
Yeah.
you know how to play the game, if you like it. That's how you get better.
Okay, we're going to pick a winner in our first raffle. That's a raffle, not Raphael. We're going to
First time I heard that one.
So we're going to give away a raffle of a Adventures in the Forgotten Realms bundle box from our awesome partners, Unplug Yourself. I'm picking the winner. Here we go. The winner is
Not me.
Visions to Insanity. What?
There we go. Coming back
Ryan,
to
you're-
Poch.
That's just not fair. It goes to Poch again. Speak up, Ryan, when you can. We've got some comments in chat real quick, just to go through some stuff. Mossmonk said that the the giveaway is rigged. Mike16 Jaw says, it is very nice to have someone to help you. Adam and many other friends have helped me and my wife to get better. It means a lot to motivate a new player. Awesome. Very, very cool. We're gonna throw the next bundle out there straight away, I think.
Carry on chatting. I'm actually learning a lot from Raph, listening to him.
So here we go.
can
Those of
carry
you.
on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Visions, you may not enter the second raffle. Don't be a naughty
Illegal.
boy. But there is the second raffle for another bundle box from Unplug Yourself. There you go.
Should we change? Let's maybe get into some more like fun questions, like things like this has been great. I mean, seriously, this has been such an amazing conversation, and but I think we would have missed an opportunity if we don't talk about things like the classic Magic questions. Like, you've been playing for ages, like 1994, I believe you mentioned. What was your favorite set to draft?
Is that fun? Is that a fun question?
That's a fun question.
You think?
Because you're going to mention a set
just-
that none of us have ever heard
just-
of, or none of us have ever played before, and then you're going to explain this obscure reason why it was the best, and we're going to be like, oh, okay.
Just
If you say
between
so.
us, whatever I answer, is this gonna be more interesting than what I just said?
I don't know about
Oh.
more interesting. But it would be entertaining, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting
don't think-
question. I suppose.
I'm not telling you question sucks. That's not what I'm saying. That's like it's not. What are you gonna take from this? Oh, it's Innistrad. Oh, okay, cool. Well, Innistrad. Oh yeah, I like the vampires.
Yeah.
And we
No,
go
I
back
mean-
again.
No. I like with these like favorite things.
Yeah.
Like this is very hard for me because I've been playing for so long, and as I told you, I don't really play for fun.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
I play to win, and I play with the cards I'm given. The cards I'm given. Sure, there are a few drafts that I enjoyed playing more. I like playing like the original Innistrad because I felt like the reason why I like that because I thought that I had an edge over the competition, and that made it so much better. I felt that I could fill the random factor I was talking about.
Yes.
I could make the gap much wider because the cards helped you to do that, and that's why I liked it. So I would say the first Innistrad or like most of the draft formats I actually performed in.
In terms of in terms of the competitions you've played, I mean, and there have been a lot, so we'll just take that easy. But in terms of the tournaments you played and the placings you've gotten, I don't want to talk about the World Cup just yet, but just in terms of those tournaments, out of the tournament decks that you've played, what's been not necessarily the most fun for you to play, but the most memorable deck that you've played, and why was that deck memorable?
That's a fun question.
Is it? Like all the memories are from like when you win.
Yeah.
Like the decks I'm the most proud of are the decks I built and I won with. Like the first GP I won, my deck was amazing. My deck was the best, like by far. It was like in '98, and it was an extended mono green land destruction. Nobody knew about this deck, and we were so far ahead. And that deck was great. I don't know if you have a link. I'll give you a link. You probably find it.
We'll find it.
Then like lately, like the most recent tournaments, I really enjoyed playing like this mag deck rule deck that I came up with, and I was people were like they weren't sure the deck was good. I was like, guys, this deck is really good. Like I've been pushing it because it came from a place where like I was playing in the last. This is gonna be very advanced for people who don't follow the competitive scene, but I'm just gonna sum it up. I was playing I was playing for my life in the last MTG, the MPL weekend, and I didn't have time. I was like rough at home, like to get organized, and that was like not easy to just play, like prepare for the tournament that would determine the rest of the year and the rest of next year and everything. There was a lot of pressure, and I just couldn't do it. Like there were too many things. Like I have two kids. One is 3.5. The other one is now 8 months old. That was a month and a half ago. I was too hard. Like my wife did a lot, but I still had to do a lot at home. And when you have to play against like a huge competition, like the best players in the world, you don't have time for stuff at home. And whatever you do, every single minute you spend like trying to take care of the kids, like people playing are getting better, so you fall behind, and like it was just so much pressure and so much stuff. Like I just couldn't. So the day before the deck submission, I had an idea. I went out running because I couldn't stay home. I was like, oh, I have a deck idea. So I took like Gruul Adventure. I put some Sentinels, Jesper Sentinels, some Magdas. Like this has to work. And I played for a night, and it was great. And I submitted my deck like the next hour, and the version was like after 10 hours of play, you don't have a deck that you can submit for like a high stake tournament. Your deck is not finished. And I played. I went 2-4 or something, but like I was out of the competition. And I was like, man, that's really too bad I figured that out so late, because I think there's a lot of potential. Since I went only 2-4 and nobody picked it up, I was like, okay, but this deck, people say, yeah, this is bad. It's just some other like random ref's crap that he's just patched, whatever. And I started working on it like really seriously because I had time now. I didn't have any tournament to play. And I came up with this deck that really ended up being great. And some other players played it with no success. And it went under the radar for a long time because people were not winning with it. And I was so sure it was good. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put, my methods, can't speak English anymore. My words about where my mouth is. Is that how you say it?
Close enough.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take it to the Strixhaven Championship. I have the best deck. I have the best version of it. I've been playing with it for 2 months, and like I know this deck is good. And actually making top 8 with it, like top 8ing that turn the PT with it was like that was a great feeling, because it's your work that's being rewarded.
Yep.
by good finish. Unfortunately, top 8 was in historic, so I didn't get to like display it a little more. But this is probably the deck I'm the most proud of. Like in the last league weekend, 2 players picked it up and they won 10-2 or something.
Yeah.
So really good. And
Crazy.
I think this deck is great, and there's nobody can take credit for this one, because and this is important. Like this is another topic, and we can just talk about it because it's fun, and I'm like,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
and people like to take credits for the deck they play, even if they didn't build it. And I think there's so little to win at Magic that when you steal credits for a deck when you steal the credits from a deck, that's so scummy, man. I hate this. When I build a deck and like even if it's not good, someone takes it. Oh, it's my deck now. No, it's not your deck. What are you talking about? And some people say, yeah, well, like it's not your deck. There's no copyright on it. Yeah, who took the time to build it?
Sure.
And it works for everybody. When I picked a deck, when I used to, like, I used to write articles, or even when I pick up a deck at a tournament, I always credit the deck builder. If I know who it is, like, unless it's a random strategy that everybody knows from day one, like, it doesn't matter. But, like, if someone gives you built a deck, that you have to create that person. And in that case, that was my deck that I built from scratch that people took, and there was no innovation. Nobody brought in a single innovation to the deck. Every single innovation that came afterwards were from me. Like, I gave the deck. I put the new thing that I did that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to brag about like my super deck building skills. Out of like many decks that I built, 95% are shit. Oh, sorry, are crap.
That's okay.
95% are bad and are not like playable. Sometimes you just hit it right, and when you do, it's great. It's a great feeling. And when you're the one that plays it and actually make it work, you're like, look, this is what I did. This is the accomplishment. This is the biggest accomplishment. Like, it's probably even better than actually winning the tournament.
We know a couple of people who actually played your deck, so yes,
Okay.
it was definitely a hit.
I felt that in our FNMs that thing slapped hard.
Yeah,
Gold stand out of nowhere. Yeah.
Foxglove says the turn 3-4 cleave off of Magda was really great with that deck.
Yeah, that's the nuts.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. So just quick, we still got about 15 seconds left for the giveaway. If anybody hasn't entered yet, you can still get in there. And just a quick side note before we finish up our conversation, because we're running into the 9:20 minute. EGG will be launching Patreon pretty soon. We have our Patreon set up, and you guys in chat, if you want to support us, you can go over there and have a look at the tiers. You also get to pick an Eggie, of which you will be an Eggie. And there are different kinds of Eggies. We have rare Eggies. We have uncommon Eggies. We have mythic Eggies. So it's all up to you. And it's all about stuff that we think you might like. So go and check it out. There's cool stuff going on there. But just looking at chat real quick. Oh, sorry. You can check. It's patreon.com/EasyGamingGroup. It's easy. But let's just see what's going on here. Copy pasters are killing the standard format, says Dark Redeemer 31. I don't know. That's a totally different conversation. That's
like the next 10 years.
That's the net decking. Ooh, net deckers versus brewers. Rah, rah, rah. We got Patreon, yay, says Leopardstone. Kiran says, like when you tried to make Hammer Time a thing leading up to the PT Hogark.
I did. It took me a while. I think I owe Kiran a few ticks because I used his Mana Traders account to get some of these cards. we bought a few bad cards that we're never gonna play again.
Okay, cool. Entries have stopped. Okay, so we're gonna pick a winner, and the winner is for that bundle box from Unplug Yourself for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Dark Wolf Avenger Dwa.
Is that not Rudolph?
I don't know who that is, but Dark Wolf Avenger Dwa has just won a bundle box. I'm assuming the Dwa is like the cutoff of dwarf. Unless it's like Dwa. 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 Dwa, 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 dwa. Anyways, that's all good.
Yeah, well done. Well done to the raffle winners.
Nice to the raffle winners. We like the raffle winners. It's all fantastic. If the raffle winners rigged ×2, congrats. If the raffle winners could get in touch with Adam or myself via Easy Gaming Group's other websites and WhatsApps groups and stuff like that, just so we know exactly who you are and we can get your prizes to you as soon as we have them. Remember, those prizes will only be shipped after the product has been released. And Raphael Levy says rigged. So keep that in mind. That was funny. I like that. But I think, Raph, I mean, just any sort of final thoughts, closing comments about. I mean, I think you've covered a hell of a lot tonight, which I think is fantastic, and I think anybody who's been watching will have gained a lot of knowledge and some really cool ideas about how to improve their game and where to look to improve their game, whether that's finding a mentor or finding someone who can help them out, or learning to play draft, like you said, going in there and just playing some draft before you actually try and, decide whether or not you're good at it. If you're looking at sort of the wider scheme of Magic, obviously we have the problem of not having a sanctioned national series here in South Africa anymore, but that was always a platform for us to breed players and get players going and move them around to the rest of the world. But we're trying to do something similar at the moment with our own national series, which is on sort of hiatus until after the COVID lockdown, I guess. But how any last comments, any last advice, just to say, like, this is what you think, because like you say, you don't play for fun, you play to win. So the advice to people out there who want to win, what last nugget?
And you want some more stuff?
Yeah, man.
Maybe now we're in 20 minutes of like
I just want I milk it. I would milk it for everything it's worth.
Yeah, give us all the secrets.
All the secrets. Oh, maybe I like Battle for Zendikar draft, and best color is blue.
Okay, guys, take notes.
More stuff.
Are you drained?
Well, like in closing, like what would you like to say to everyone who's watching? Maybe you want to plug like your Twitch or your Twitter, something like that.
Oh, well, that's a different thing. Like that would be that would be very like, oh, what? How did you think you would play better? Oh, I have a good idea for you.
Come and learn from me.
Check out my stream.
Yeah, maybe you should get some coaching lessons.
Well, listen, that's not a bad idea.
Ask me that question. That's a better way to do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have embarrassed.
Where can we find this information about your coaching sessions, Raph?
That's a very good question. I can answer very easily.
Nice.
I'm gonna give you the link in the chat.
Yeah, drop it in chat.
Drop it in chat. That'd be amazing.
I'm gonna definitely look into that though.
There you go, everybody.
And
you want to get a Hall of Famer as your coach? Click that link.
And you can find me on Twitch. Well, it's my username, so you can find me easily on Twitch.
Yeah, we can.
They can follow.
I mean, yeah, give it a follow. Come say hi sometimes. There's a lot. I used to have a lot of South African viewers. Come over just to say how's it and take some.
How's it?
And
just drop the how's it and then.
And then you know it's us. We just pop in. How's the draft?
Try to re-practice my South African accent.
Do you have a
South African accent?
Question. Very important question.
Yes.
Is that Kenny?
It is Kenny.
It's a dead Kenny.
Dead Kenny, yeah.
I thought it's like a trophy or something. I'm like, what is that?
From the movie, yeah.
That's brilliant. I love that. That's fantastic. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up there a little bit and just obviously apologies to chat for the intermittent issues with the connection tonight. I hope it's been okay. It seems to have been a bit better this second time around. And again, just a massive thank you to Raphael Levy. Thank you so much, man, for coming and joining us here on the EGGPod and chatting to our little community and just spreading some magical wisdom around.
Right, you're welcome. I'll come say hi next time I pass by South Africa. One day.
Yeah, let's bribe.
I think my wife is like, come on, let's go South Africa. Yeah, we'll go.
That'd be fantastic. Okay,
right.
So from Adam and Ryan and myself, thank you and thanks for coming to chat out there. Thank you for sticking with us through the terrible signal. I hope it's come right. Congratulations to our winners. Please don't forget to let us know who you are. Otherwise, we can't give you stuffs. So that's how it works. But keep an eye out for this. We will drop this in YouTube in the week so that you can catch up on anything you missed. And there may actually be something else, a little special for you there too. But we'll confirm that a bit later. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay healthy, stay safe, obey the rules for as long as we need to. And as soon as we can, we'll be smashing each other in the face with cardboard magic cards again. So, until then, peace.
Thanks, everyone.